Today's date is August 9th, 2011, time in 9:30 p.m. I'm reading a from my from module 5 readings of business class 340, business 340 from Grand Canyon University. This is a website that's given under the module under the additional resource electronic resources section. So I will begin here. It's called Bernie Madoff's $50 billion Ponzi scheme. Robert Lanzer. Brazen fraud ensnares well-known investors and non-profits and gives hedge funds another black eye. The shocking revelation that prominent investment manager Bernard Madoff's hedge fund, Ascot Partners, was a giant scam. Will intensity redemptions from scores of other hedge funds that will be forced to liquidate holdings increase downward pressure on stock prices. This additional negative influence on the market, together with the liquidation by mutual funds facing redemptions and endowments facing the need for liquidity, are three significant barriers for optimism about the direction of stock prices in the near term. One don't walk into the high yields and safety of municipal bonds. Which ones? Click here for current buys from Marilyn Cohen in Forbes Tax Advantage Investors. The arrest of the 70-year-old Madoff, widely considered to have the magic touch as an investor, is another serious black eye for the hedge fund industry and all non-transparent investment vehicles. Investors across the New York area have clamored to be in Ascot because of the stability of double grill returns and the reports of serious wealth creation. The scandal is bound to reveal the inner workings of the hedge fund industry, whereby intermediate feeders bring in their clients and take fees from putting clients with an investment manager. If Madoffs hadn't faced $7 billion in redemptions, this Ponzi scheme might not have been discovered. What's astonishing is that he got away with it for so long with nobody discovering it. What his four family members in Ascot knew is a puzzle that everyone wants answered. But one thing is certain: it's virtually impossible to have returns like Madoff reported, and it should have been a major warning signal. Aside from the impact on stocks overall, the exposure of fraud on a massive scale is also devastating to individuals who trusted Madoff with their fortunes, and to non-profit organizations like Yeshiva University, which accounted on Madoff's purported secret trading system to help operate its institutions. Sterling Equities, the investment vehicle of the Wilpon family, which owns the New York Mets baseball team, had $300 million reportedly invested in Ascot. So did some wealthy investors who had money in related hedge funds who were never informed or ties to Ascot. Another private bank executive placed $10 million from a client just 2 weeks ago. He knew of another family that had $100 million with Madoff. A woman in California told us that she had lost everything with Madoff and another hedge fund. Everyone in New York wants to know how Madoff could have pulled off this Ponzi scheme, whereby these new statements funds were apparently used to pay double-digit returns to some of the older investors. A charitable account that operates institutions in Israel received a 12% return recently. Over individuals, investors report they got nothing. Comment on this story. Ascot's monthly reports are voluminous, showing many transactions in and out of the market every day. Madoff was supposed to have some black box model that signaled when to buy and when to sell. He was one of the most active traders in the marketplace, and his annual returns in these short-term traders were mainly ordinary income, which made Ascot attractive mostly to tax-free institutions like foundations, hospitals, and religious groups. After many years of returns in the range of 12% to 15%, in recent times, the profits have been in the high single digits at times. The Madoff Ponzi charity board members on the hook for Madoff. Video: Madoff's 3 lessons Madoff charities and the SEC. Why the SEC missed Madoff SEC to probe its Madoff oversight. Madoff's money. Sick transmit Bernie Madoff. Madoff is thorn in HSBC Nomura's side. Long time coming, long time gone. Bernie Madoff's $50 billion Ponzi scheme fleeced Madoff investors face cold winter. Special offers. Special offer. Do you have any money left in the stock market that you want to protect? Economist and Forbes columnist Gary Schilling has had been warning since 2005 of the housing crash, the credit crunch, and the deep recession to follow. Think the problems have passed? Don't miss out around. Don't mess around. Click here for advice to keep your wealth with Gary Schilling's insight. If needed, $50 billion was lost, as apparently Madoff claims it is the largest such fraud in history, and one that might even shame the conman whose name is attached to this brand of deception. In 1920, Charles Ponzi, an Italian immigrant, began advertising that he could make a 50% return for investors in only 45 days. Incredibly, Ponzi began taking in the money from all over New England and New Jersey, but July of 1920, he was making millions as people mortgaged their homes and invested their life savings. As with all frauds, he was discovered to have a jail record and was inclined on 86 counts of fraud. Some tens of millions of dollars were invested with him. Other fraudsters have made inglorious names for themselves. In March 1932, Ivar Kruger, a Swedish businessman who had cooked the books of his match manufacturing business and forged $142 million of bonds, shot himself in the head. It was reported that he may have burned through $400 million of investor money by falsifying the accounts of 400 separate companies. Until Madoff came along, the equity funding scandal may have been the largest fraud in dollar terms in U.S. history. A publicly held company whose shares trade on the New York Stock Exchange, the top executive falsified 64,000 insurance policies that were used to report revenues of $2 billion. The company also sold $25 million in counterfeit bonds and had missing assets of $100 million. 3 auditors and high-ranking executives served prison terms. Expect Madoff to be one of the first jailed investors of the 2008 market meltdown. Hopefully there will be others. I guess that is the end of that article. Okay.